Alright, so it's my birthday today. So far I'm having a really good day. What could possibly go wrong? What am I going to review today? Ah, crap. The Purge election year is the third installment of the Purge trilogy, which I never thought I'd say when that first movie came out, but here we are. 3 years later, we have a trilogy. This one is once again written and directed by James DeMonaco, and it stars Frank Grillo, who is returning from the Purge anarchy, and newcomer Elizabeth Mitchell, who plays a senator who 18 years prior to this movie was involved with a terrible Purge experience where all of her family members got killed. But now she's running for president, and one of her goals is to end the Purge entirely. However, the new founding fathers, the people who founded the Purge, they aren't too happy with that. They like the Purge for their own personal reasons, and they decide they're going to use this year's Purge to eliminate the senator. And since Frank Grillo is the head of her security team, he now has to protect her throughout the entire Purge night because they got betrayed and they cannot stay at her house. So guys, as soon as I saw the trailer for this movie, I knew exactly what I was going to get because I absolutely hate the first two Purge films. The first Purge is easily one of the most excruciatingly annoying movie experiences I think I've ever had. It was so frustrating to watch all of these dumb, and I do mean dumb, characters. And then the Purge Anarchy, they changed it up a bit, the first one being a home invasion thriller, and this one was more of an action thriller, and yet this movie still ended up to be crap with dumb characters and more annoying and stupid decisions being made. So I knew as soon as I saw the poster, as soon as I saw that trailer that is edited pretty much the same way as all the other Purge trailers, as soon as I saw that the same writer and the same director had come back, I pretty much knew exactly what I was going to get, and you know what? I got exactly that! The Purge election year is another cringy, excruciatingly annoying movie experience that's 3 films in a series that are both cringy, excruciatingly annoying, and painful to watch. Whoever decided over in Hollywood that The Purge needs to become a trilogy needs to become fired, because they have no idea what audiences look for in a series. James DeMonaco is easily one of the worst writers and directors working right now. And I'll talk about his screenplay a little bit later. I want to talk about his direction, because this is easily the laziest direction of all of the Purge films. Not only were the action scenes pathetically filmed and had some really crappy editing, I noticed, but also the scares. The first movie was more of a scary film, and the second one, it was kind of a scary film, but it had more action scenes, and the Purge election year is kind of the same thing as the second one. Even the scares don't even work. They never worked. All they are is just excruciatingly annoying jump scares that are just sad to see on the screen. So James DeMonaco proves that he has no idea what he's doing behind the camera. He's a horrible director. He has no idea not only how to direct action or how to direct a scary scene or suspenseful scene of any kind, but he also doesn't know how to direct his actors, because the Purgers in this film are easily the worst ones out of the entire trilogy. They were so ridiculously over the top, including one girl who's incredibly cringy to listen to, who acts like this, like moves her head around, and she always talks about how she wants her candy bar, how she's got a sweet tooth. I'm so glad she wasn't in the movie a whole lot, because holy crap, if she was a main villain or anything like that, I would have probably shot myself in the face. Here, anywhere. Just as long as I didn't have to watch that god-awful performance. And they have Bubba Blue from Forrest Gump in this film. As soon as I found out it was him, I immediately felt sorrow for this guy, because clearly his career has gone nowhere since he is now in a Purge movie. Now, there are only 2 performances that I do like, those being Frank Grillo and Elizabeth Mitchell. As performers, They were the only ones that seemed like they were trying. However, they have big problems for characters. In the Purge Anarchy, Frank Grillo, it set up him having a pretty cool story arc until he became a babysitter for these dumbos that just so happen to have some bad luck and get stuck outside on Purge night. And for the Purge election year, what does he do in this movie? He's pretty much, once again, a babysitter for these people who have no idea what they're doing. Except this time, he doesn't have something going on. He doesn't have his own plot. It's just him being the badass guy who knows what he's doing, and he can do his job very well. And Elizabeth Mitchell, they started off her character kind of good because they set up her traumatic backstory. And they showed the path that she was currently on, and I thought, okay, over the events of this film, she's probably going to grow as a character, maybe be a badass like Frank Grillo, know how to take care of herself, right? Wrong. Hard wrong. She is literally a damsel in distress the entire movie. She always needs to be saved. She gets kidnapped like twice in this entire film, and she needs to be saved by someone who actually knows what they're doing, and the only thing she knows how to do is talk a really big game. That's it. She doesn't do anything that actually shows off a character growth of any kind. She is just there to be a damsel in distress. Now, I've been saving this for the end for a particular reason. The screenplay of this movie, not only does the overall plot not make any sense, not only does it have some predictable moments, but it has some of the worst, cringeworthy dialogue of the entire year. I mentioned the candy bar line earlier, and that is the easiest one to talk about, but then there's also a guy who does a really lame jump scare earlier because he's wearing a mask. He's selling masks for the Purge. He jumps out like, "Ah, I gotcha!" And then he screams out, "The Purge is like Halloween for adults!" Not only does that line not make any sense, but the delivery from that guy was cringeworthy. There's another line from this guy who's just standing in the street in the middle of the night during Purge, and he's, he has no shirt on, he's muscular, and he's like, "The Purge is all about the survival of the fittest. You know who the fittest is? I am!" There's so many cringy, corny lines throughout this film that literally irritated me. I cringed so hard. And I never really thought I would be able to complain about this in a review, but I am. James DeMonaco seems to have a really weird obsession with every character using swears in pretty much every sentence. And usually I wouldn't complain about that if the acting was good and they were pulling it off very well, but the acting is not good. The delivery of these lines sucks, so in every single line almost has a swear, the F word, the S word, all this crappy dialogue combined with these poorly delivered swear word lines. It didn't work. I literally got so irritated with this movie. Like 15 minutes in, I literally was just done with it. 15 minutes into the movie, I was like, you know what? I can't finish this. No way. I like Frank Grillo and Elizabeth Mitchell so far, but no way. No way. I can't finish this movie. Overall, I did finish the movie, but I really hate myself for doing it. And this is one tiny thing that I just really need to mention. In every single Purge film, everyone who's purging seems to have some weird psychological problem in their brain. And I get, there are probably a lot of criminals out there in the world, but chances are, but if the Purge was an actual thing, which there's no way it would be because it makes no sense, but if it was, would they all be acting the same way, which would be acting extremely insane, like dancing around, like pretty much acting a frickin' fool, like laughing at each other, gloating about how you're murdering people? Like, would all criminals really be like this? Like, in one scene in the movie, they show British people flying in, coming in the airport saying, "Oh yeah, we're gonna kill some people. Yeah, the Purge, America's so great." Guys, I can't do it. Please, please, Hollywood. I know, the Purge election year is making a lot of money for you. Good job. Who cares? Please, don't make the Purge 4. James DeMonaco is one of the worst writers and the worst directors of all time, and he has no reason to be allowed to keep making films. He is that horrible. He should not be allowed anywhere near Hollywood. He has no skill behind the camera. He has no skill when it comes to writing a screenplay. He's a talentless hack. I can give some credit for the performances of Frank Grillo and Elizabeth Mitchell, but still, those characters were wasted, and the other characters are just extremely irritating to listen to, and they make no sense. Everyone makes stupid decisions in this movie. Overall, I'm gonna give The Purge election year a D-. Like I said, Frank Grillo and Elizabeth Mitchell, good performances, but the characters were wasted. The dialogue is horrible to listen to. This movie makes no sense, and I'm just gonna say it, The Purge is the worst film series of all time. Maybe there's another one out there that I'm not thinking of at the top of my head, but I can't see any other film series being as excruciating, being as painful to watch as this movie. So James DeMonaco, would you kindly just piss off, leave Hollywood, never do anything again? Because you, sir, are garbage. But anyways, if you've seen The Purge election year, leave in the comments below what you thought of it. And as I mentioned in my Ghostbusters review, I will be doing a Q&A at some point, so if you haven't left a question on that video, you can leave it on this one. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe. I'm Jackson Fulcher. See you guys next time.